Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And given that this event is watched live at YouTube all over the region, I should also add good morning and good evening. A warm welcome to the side event on the topic Future Generation, Multi-Stakeholder Roles for Strengthening Space Applications and Sustainable Development at the 10th Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development. This event is organized by the Government of Indonesia, particularly the National Development Planning Agency, Bappenas, and the National Agency for Research and Innovation, BRIN, and the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, in collaboration with 10 space agencies, UN agencies, and universities. We are live here at the UN Conference Center in Bangkok. We are also joined by students and faculty from the Chinese University of Hong Kong campus and by our colleagues at the headquarters of BRIN in Jakarta. It is now my great pleasure to invite His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative of Indonesia to ESCAP, to deliver his keynote remarks.
Thank you. Ibu Armida Salsia Ali Shahbana, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ESCAP, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and also the participants who follow this event online. I'm pleased to welcome you all in this event, and it is very important event for us. And it is also a great honor to have this opportunity to organize this event together with the support of ESCAP. Last year, Indonesia became the emerging spacefaring nation to host the Ministerial Conference on Space Applications for Sustainable Development in Asia and Pacific, MC4, outside the ESCAP headquarters. It shows that an emerging spacefaring nation like Indonesia can contribute to the development of the use of space application for civil development use in developing countries. The MC4 event attracted all spacefaring countries to come to Jakarta or online. Emerging space countries that are active members of ASEAN, such as Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines, participated actively in that event. This demonstrate the important contribution of Indonesia and the said countries in applying space application in the region. The conference has made technology, data, service providers, and user communities as a closed loop. The event has also contributed in assisting the countries in the Southeast Asia and other sub-regions to participate in the Regional Cooperative Initiative Program. Indonesia has set out a vision of becoming a high-income developed country by 2045, with the goal of ranking as the fifth largest economy globally. The Sustainable Development Goals are one of our priority tools for achieving Indonesia 2045 vision and for implementing the country's economic transformation. We are capitalizing on the space technology and its innovative applications, research, and education to help us achieve this vision. Space activities in Indonesia are under the direct purview of the President. The responsible agencies is BRIN, this is Pak Heru is from that agency, implements our space program through research and innovations in the space sciences, remote sensing technology and application, space technology, developing launching facilities, and promoting commercial space activities. We are mindful that the increasing access to space derived data and its applications with integrations of digital innovations, as well as building human capacity to apply them, is just as important as technology development. The effectiveness of the development solution depends to a large extent on a solid understanding of highly specific local context, which can be achieved partly to better insight from space-derived data. The government of Indonesia is therefore investing resources to increase the ability and accessibility of the satellite-derived data from all central and local sectors to empower them to manage the land, marine, agriculture, health, public service, business development, natural resources, smart city, and sustainable development. Capturing the socio-economic benefits of space science, technology, and their application for sustainable development for our country's economic transformation is a multi-stakeholder undertaking. This side event will highlight specific examples and consider ideas on how successful stakeholder-led initiative on space application by us and our future generation could be better supported and scale up. In Indonesia, in particular, we consider the youth to be important stakeholder. With 77 million youth aged 10 to 24 years, Indonesia has one of the largest youth population in the world. This one of our greatest strengths. We are leveraging this demographic dividend by inspiring and providing opportunities to our youth to increase their involvement in the space sector. As we advance our national vision, we also support other countries in the region to do the same. With the success of the 4th Ministerial Conference on Space Application for Sustainable Development hosted by Indonesia in Jakarta, October 2022, Indonesia announced its commitment to initiate regional cooperation initiative to accelerate the implementations of the regional space plan of action, which is the ESCAP region blueprint to harness space and geospatial application to support countries achieve the sustainable development goals. The government of Indonesia through BRIN will undertake collaborative activities with other countries and institutions in the region, including scaling up capacity building for the young professional in space application. I'm optimistic that this event will result in a concrete collaborations among all participating countries and institutions to advance this aspiration. I wish you all fruitful deliberations. I thank you so much.
Recording in progress.
We thank His Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman for his keynote remarks. I have the great pleasure of inviting Ms. Armida Salcia Alishabana, Under Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ESCAP, to deliver her keynote remarks.
Excellency Mr. Rahmat Budiman, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary, and Permanent Representative of Indonesia to ESCAP, Excellency Ms. Millicent Cruz Paredes, Ambassador and PR of the Philippines to ESCAP, Excellency Ms. Chaminda Kolon, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of Sri Lanka to ESCAP, Pak Heru Triharyanto from BRIN, Indonesia, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome to all. At the outset, I would like to extend a special welcome to our future generation, which I understand are also participating, and some are participating online. In the United Nations Secretary General's blueprint for sustainable development called Our Common Agenda, the Secretary General has underlined the need to work with and listen to the youth. As highlighted during the deliberation at this APFSD forum, especially in the past 2 days, the region needs to double down its efforts, particularly with respect to the SDGs that are regressing or lack progress. Space technology and its application can accelerate progress on SDGs. It can also greatly augment data availability, which remains insufficient for 51 out of the 169 SDG targets. We expect to hear many excellent examples and ideas from the youth and other stakeholders in this regard. Further, we will also hear insight from the youth and other stakeholders into how these actions can be further supported and scaled up. The Asia Pacific region is in a good position to capture the socio-economic benefits of space science technology and its application for achieving the SDGs. Since 1999, ESCAP has been implementing a dedicated regional space application program through technical cooperation and financial support provided by our member states. In October 2018, our member states adopted the Asia Pacific Plan of Action on Space Application for Sustainable Development, which sets out the pathways for implementing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs. In October of last year, 2022, the ministerial adoption of the Jakarta Ministerial Declaration on Space Application for Sustainable Development in Asia Pacific reaffirms the value of collaborative partnership and of the engagement of all major groups as well as stakeholders. It further recognizes the importance of leveraging the potential of space to inspire, especially the youth, and increase the involvement of young people in the space sector. National and international initiatives that inspire the interests of young generation in promoting innovative application of space as well as digital technology comprise the future of our region as well as planet Earth. I highly appreciate that many of you here represent ESCAP critical partners in putting this Jakarta Declaration into action at the national, local levels, where we need to make this difference. As governments accelerate their use of geospatial technologies, long-term sustainability will depend on policies that support the development of a workforce with multidisciplinary expertise to develop and use integrated geospatial system and analysis across the region. Long-term capacity development that provides employment as well as educational opportunities, especially for the youth, including young women, through scholarship and exchange program would be crucial. Opportunities to connect internationally with peers are also equally important, such as this event today and the Youth Forum on the innovative use of geospatial information for resilient and sustainable development initiated by ESCAP and of course with all our partners. This is just to name a few of the many examples. I would like to express my sincerest appreciation, especially to the government of Indonesia for its leadership in convening this event, our co-organizers for their continued commitment to putting the plan of action and Jakarta Ministerial Declaration into action, and to all participants who have joined us in this very important event. I look forward to us all continuing to work in partnership so that everyone in our region capture the benefits of space science technology and its application. Thank you very much.
We would like to thank Ms. Armida Salcia and Shabana for her keynote remarks and for emphasizing the value of partnerships and engagement of all stakeholders, including the youth, in accelerating SDG achievement. I would now like to introduce a video on Voices of the Youth on Space Applications for Sustainable Development. May I request the Secretariat to please play the video?
Asia and the Pacific is a vibrant and diverse region of peoples, cultures, and environments. But to get a full picture of this region, you need to view it from space. Space-derived geospatial data provide insights into Asia and the Pacific that cannot be obtained from the ground. Integrated space and land information that is essential to achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Young people are the future of Asia and the Pacific, and they are the future of harnessing space-based technologies to solve regional challenges. Young scientists of the region need our support in developing their capacities, skills, and projects so they can maximize the potential of space technology applications for our Earth and future.
The world faces many challenges, especially those related to climate change. Young people should be trusted to solve these issues as they are the guardians of the planet's future.
Young scientists are ready to make a difference. There are many exciting and emerging technologies that can help regional development.
Space Plus for Our Earth and Future is the theme of the 4th Ministerial Conference on Space Applications for Sustainable Development in Asia and the Pacific. And one of the foundational elements of Space Plus is engaging the youth of the region. The Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, is committed to supporting this ambition and has been hosting youth-focused capacity building in space and geospatial information applications across the region. The trainings focus on many crucial areas of research and applications, including leveraging geospatial data and digital technologies to better monitor air pollution as well as regional droughts. ESCAP's training sessions also prioritize the representation and capacity building of young women scientists, another key goal of Space Plus.
This training is very beneficial for me. It gives me a lot of information and knowledge about games data. When I go back to Indonesia, I will share it to my college, and I hope this training will help me to solve and manage the problem about air pollution in my country.
The 3 weeks of the GEM training are beneficial for us to enhance the background knowledge on air pollution and how to utilize GEM data and its technology for monitoring air pollution in Thailand.
But governments of the region can still do more to ensure young people get the support they need to use space technologies. The sector needs increased regional cooperation and data sharing, more youth training and educational programs, and the increased accessibility of geospatial data to all end users.
Изменение климата, как уже ранее говорил, в атмосфере нет границ, и поэтому все процессы, протекающие в соседних странах в этом регионе, они должны быть изучены и изучаться должны совместно.
If more geospatial data was made open source and available to all people, I'm confident that solutions would be accelerated.
Space-based technology and geospatial data are essential to achieving regional prosperity for all. Let's give the region's young people the best possible chance of using this innovative technology to solve tomorrow's problems and to accelerate progress towards a more equal, more resilient, and more sustainable world.
Важно расширять возможности молодых ученых путем помощи и обучения, чтобы изменить ситуацию в будущем.
Young scientists are the future, and we are ready to help our communities develop and grow. My message to all the governments is, train us, help us, so that we can make a difference for tomorrow.
This concludes our opening segment. We would very much like to thank again His Excellency Mr. Ramat Budiman and Ms. Armida Salcia Alishabana for their support and presence here today and for their keynote remarks. With their apologies, they must leave the meeting now due to other pressing engagements. Oh, I apologize. The Ambassador of Indonesia decided to stay. This must be really interesting for you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much. So we now begin our discussion by inviting high-level representatives from governments and space agencies to share their perspectives on the topic. It is now my great pleasure to invite Her Excellency Mrs. C.A. Chaminda I. Colonna, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative of Sri Lanka to ESCAP, to deliver her message.
Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the necessity of scaling up of space applications for the optimal leveraging in sustainable development has been increasingly emphasized over the past years. One of the important and effective strategies for enabling such scaling up has been identified in the form of engagement of youth. Engaging youth has been deservedly recognized in many forums and many policy and strategy documents, importantly including the Jakarta Ministerial Declaration on Space Applications for Sustainable Development adopted in October 2022. In this context, Sri Lanka is pleased to be associated with this important event focusing youth, organized by the Government of Indonesia and ESCAP, with the participation of a number of co-organizers, including Sri Lanka's National Agency for Space Technology and Applications, namely the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies. Space applications, in their conventional sense, have evolved themselves by now to be the nucleus of what can be identified as solution space, that is much broader than space applications in the conventional sense. And it is this solution space that has come to be connoted by Space Plus. Engagement of youth not only constitutes one of the main pillars of Space Plus, but also has effective strategic implications on the other pillars, including integration of space applications with emerging digital technologies. There are obvious challenges to the effective engagement of youth in the modernization of the use of peaceful space technology applications to meet sustainable development goals. The common challenges shared particularly by some countries in the developing world are related to lack of policy coherence and insufficient financial support or assistance. Importantly, any meaningful measures aimed at addressing such issues of the policy coherence can effectively address another common challenges as well, namely gender mainstreaming in space applications. Thank you.
We would very much like to thank Her Excellency Mrs. C.A. Chaminda I. Colonna for her message. Next, I would like to introduce a video message by Mr. Joel Joseph S. Marciano Jr., Director General of the Philippine Space Agency, PhilSA. May I request the Secretariat to please play the video.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. The field of outer space is growing quite rapidly. We are now seeing a diverse range of actors and players. Humankind continues to venture outward into the exhilarating expanse of space, knowing that the know-how and capabilities it brings fosters even more understanding in our inward quest to sustainably develop and care for planet Earth. In this light, space agencies must be agile in orchestrating and guiding the various players in the web of the space economy. Embedded within this web are the young people, and being able to actively engage them is key to the vibrancy of the space ecosystem. Even as we rise to today's challenges with current know-how and tools, a space agency's sights are set firmly in shaping the future. To be relevant, a space agency's vista and its actions must be continuously trained ahead. Thus, a strong impetus to engage and empower the youth as agents of positive change and innovation. In the Philippines, there is a young population and workforce. We see this too in PhilSA. Much work lies ahead, however, in building a critical mass of space value creators and ensuring a nurturing environment for their sustained productivity. In motivating the youth towards space innovations, it is important to look at supporting structures. In this regard, PhilSA espouses core values of collaboration, inclusiveness, and integrity in our mission of value creation in space. In other words, value creation also entails relevant values formation. Innovation, after all, thrives in a seedbed and culture that promotes and values it. More concretely, we strive to be T-shaped. This means that the depth of individual technical competencies must be complemented by teamwork, communication, empathy, and a breadth of other skills. In the inherently interdisciplinary and complex field of space, we need our young people to be able to apply knowledge in multiple ways and increasingly across different teams. We thus heighten collaboration with academia, government, and industry as part of an agile loop that will bring more impactful innovations to society. In closing, ensuring that the utilization of space technologies contributes to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals is a shared responsibility. I commend the UNESCAP for championing youth participation in space in line with the guiding theme of Phase 2 of the Plan of Action, Space Plus for Earth and Future. The Philippine Space Agency continues to support UNESCAP in efforts to attain the SDGs through space science and technology and a better and sustainable future for all. Thank you very much.
We would very much like to thank Mr. Joel Joseph S. Marciano Jr. for his message. And finally, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Ismael Rasulov to deliver his message. He is the head of the Department of Coordination of International Cooperation of Uzbek Space, the Space Research and Technologies Agency under the Cabinet of Ministers of the Republic of Uzbekistan.
Good afternoon, distinguished delegates, dear participants. First of all, on behalf of Uzbek Space Agency, I would like to express my gratitude to UNESCAP for organizing today's event. Especially, I thank my colleagues Kiran and Karif for their hard work to make this event happen. Coming back to the main topic of today's event, I would like to briefly introduce our agency and our effort in initiatives on leveraging space science and technology to advance progress on the SDGs and contributing to the involvement of youth in high technology industry. For more than 2 years of its presence, the Uzbek Space Agency implemented several space applications projects in different socio-economic spheres, including applications of remote sensing technologies for country needs. Uzbek Space Agency is working on creating digital GIS platforms for socio-economic sector. Results of these platforms making outstanding contribution in digitalization of the country. Based on these results, at the end of the year, the roadmap for the development of the national space industry in 2023-2024 was signed by the president. The tasks included uh, the government space monitoring program, among other, the detection of unauthorized land use, agriculture crop monitoring, indexation of forest, industrial emissions, control, and water resource management. Now, as we obtained governmental order for GIS platforms, we need to put enough qualified human resource for establishing space industry in Uzbekistan. And if at the first year, Uzbek Space Agency was concentrated on building legal framework for space activities and setting infrastructure, nowadays industry needs to find qualified personnel and moreover the improvement of professional skills of current employees. The situation led to developing the space educational program of Uzbek Space Agency, which covers 4 main directions. The first one is training current employees to use up-to-date instruments, launching learning centers and higher education programs for preparing young professionals, raising overall interest in space and STEM knowledge among youngsters to pull them into space professionals, and supporting the business initiatives by creating aerospace startup incubator. Uzbek Space Agency and its subsidiary companies, Space Monitoring and Geoinformation Technology Center and Uzayro-Space, are fully supporting recruiting young professionals. To this day, every 8 of 10 employees of these organizations are under 30 years old, and half of them are students. Due to the absence of any higher education institution in Uzbekistan, which gives complete space-related degree, we attract last year students from technical universities for the internship in our structure and further provide merit-based employment. Professional training program of Uzbek Space Agency include organization of workshops on Earth observation by attracting leading foreign educational organizations, supporting research and internship at the foreign leading institutions. Further plans are creating local learning centers and opening the local branches of foreign educational and manufacturing organizations in space. At the level of younger generation, Uzbekistan is to launch STEM education program at school to support and raise interest of school children in technical professions. Our prospective plans in educations are Uzbek Space Ambassador project that will help students and school children interested in space activities to work as volunteers with Uzbek Space Agency and to follow into our space community. Youth Space Forum, which is organizing on April 2023, will gather over 300 college and university students and leaders of educational organizations, expert speakers, Uzbek space ambassadors, and space influencers who are interested in aerospace and will inspire next generation to make choice for space professions. And last but not the least, realization of the Space Bus, technological educational space project based on STEM in schools and develop youngsters space community. Following SDGs of decent work and economic growth and industry innovation and infrastructure, Uzbek Space supports business initiatives by giving access to business incubator and encouraging startups. In this way, space starts to be accessible for private business and young entrepreneurs. Agency sees its mission as creating infrastructure, issuing legal framework for the businesses, setting ecosystem for customers, and provide of space services, helping businesses to find information on international space projects. In conclusion, I would like to note that we are open for collaboration with other stakeholders in order to increase the involvement of young people in the space sector to accelerate the achievements of SDGs, and we believe that it will bear fruit to grow future space leaders. Thank you.
We would like to thank Mr. Ismail Rasulov and all the speakers for sharing their valuable insights. After these remarks, I would now like to invite Ms. Zara Shafiq, my colleague from the Space Applications of ESCAP, to moderate the rest of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karev. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this event is currently being live streamed on YouTube. Feel free to post your pictures and thoughts related to this event using the hashtags Space for Accelerating SDGs, Youth for Space, Space for SDGs, Bringing Space to Earth. Moving forward, it is time to bring young scientists and youth in focus. We are eager to hear from them about the use of space technology and innovation to achieve sustainable development. The question is, as representatives of youth, how can you increase your involvement in space applications for SDGs, as envisioned by Jakarta Ministerial Declaration? 2 minutes would be a good target for each speaker. Our first speaker is Ms. Zurikun Hutasavi, Chief of Agricultural, Economics and Geosocial Division from Geoinformatics and Space Technology Development Agency, JISTA of Thailand.
Thank you. As a young geoinformatics scientist, we utilize a lot of space and GI technology to support some SDGs. And for example, we apply remote sensing and GIS to solve the land conflict problem, which is raised from the National Park Declaration in 1999. It affects a lot of life and people around Budo Sungai Padi area, which is in the southern 3 provinces of Thailand, Narathiwat, Yala, and Pattani. We help them to clarify and merge all data sets together because of both of public sector and also the government. They have their own land parcel data set. So GISTA as a organization who take care of this kind of responsibility. So we help them to clarify all of the problem that happened there. And also in the meantime, we did the capacity building to help them to survey and create the reserve line to protect the forest from invading in the future. This project helps support SDG 4, 10, 11, 15, and 16, which is very important. Due to the space and technology can be related to any phenomenon on Earth, that have the location, space, and time, then the government or UN should be lead and release or funding more in space and GI related project to support SDG in the country and open an opportunity for the young people to participate in the program. In my point of view, young people, new generation, they are eager to learn and also eager to participate in this kind of project because of the accomplishment of SDG directly affect their life in the future. And nowadays, refer to my office, GISTA, which is the main space and GI organization in Thailand. We are the modern organization that has more women officers more than men. And also we have LGBTQ plus people in our office too, even in a high level position. But by the way, if we consider all of the gender inequality as a whole, we still need to decrease this problem, which is not just men and women, but also LGBTQ plus in the space and GI field. The government and UN should support more on the variety of gender roles in the space and GI organization in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are some great insights. Our second speaker is Mr. Ong Chet Mo, MA student, Remote Sensing and GIS, Department of Information and Communication Technologies from Asian Institute of Technology.
Hello. Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. So it's a delight to share about my working activities and also the knowledge related with the utilization of the space technology. So I'm a student, a master student from Asian Institute of Technology. So I was working on the thesis, which is the assessment of the historical and projected changes of the land use within the South Asia region. So my thesis is within the climate change risk assessment of the freshwater resources in mainland South Asia, which is funded by the APN. So the main objectives of the study and analysis is to map the historical land use changes within 20 years and then modeling projection for the future 20 years. So we already know that this Asia and South Asia is environmentally and culturally rich and diverse region, as well as the land use land cover changes happening and are also becoming main driving factors for the climate change, the environmental changes. So it's very important to analyze these changes of the land use using the space technology for providing the data and information to understand also to analyze the climate change in not only in the present date but also for the future. This is very important and not only for the environmental impacts. So on the other hand, the assessment of the change, land changes for the future climate, future changes. It's also important because we are based on the historical changes, and then we would model for the future changes within the South Asian regions, and also important. So in conclusion, it's very crucial using the utilization of the space technology and for the SDG goals and also for the climate change and environmental impact and also challenges. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Quite engaging ideas indeed. Our next speaker is Mr. Manapat Viramongkonkun, student, International School of Engineering from Chulalongkorn University.
Hello, speakers, delegates, and participants. It's a great pleasure to be allowed to participate in this conversation today. My name is Manapat Viramongkonkun, and I'm an undergraduate student from Chulalongkorn University. I believe I can share my perspective of how youth in Thailand could use satellite data in their project to advance their research, solve problems from a multitude of fields, especially interdisciplinary ones. So the category of the project that I've been working on is in disaster risk management. Specifically, I am developing like a machine learning based solution to predict for forest fire occurrences and to integrate like this solution into hardware devices to equip it with predictive capabilities in near real time. Some of the challenges that we face includes like having like a few open source data available related to forest fire especially. And secondly is that it's difficult to obtain data or collect data manually because it's hazardous and relatively speaking, forest fires occurs quite rarely. And the solution was to integrate the data using instrument readings from multiple satellites around the globe. Two of the primary data sets that we used firstly were the fire radiative power FRP data and the gas values data. NASA's fire information for resource management systems, which collects the FRP data, allowed us to get an indicator of where forest fire has been occurring around in the provinces of Thailand, especially in the northern region. And the second data, gas value data set, is obtained from the Sentinel 5P and RTI, which includes CO, O3, atmospheric gas data. Some of the advantages which was highlighted in these were that, well, first of all, is that it's an open source data set, meaning it can be used extensively in research for free by anyone. And the second one is that it is constant data collection at regular intervals, meaning that first of all, it is risk-free for us to use. And secondly, is that it's highly reliable data is a highly reliable data collection approach. These are the advantages which are exclusive to the usage of satellite data and tackles all the challenges that we had. So the project also aligns with some of the Sustainable Development Goals, and the most relevant one will probably be the SDG 9 on industry, innovation, and infrastructure, since the development of this machine learning-based solution to predict for forest fire requires an innovative approach and perhaps can contribute to the development of innovative solutions to address environmental challenges in the future. I truly believe that
Quite an interesting take on sustainable development. Moving on, our next speaker is Ms. Yin Yi Lin, postdoctoral fellow from University of Hong Kong.
Hello, everyone. I'm Yin Yi Lin from the Department of Geography, the University of Hong Kong. And today I'm very happy to talk about the HKU Geospatial Data Science and its application in SDG developments. So firstly, I would highlight that HKU Geography has ranked number 10 by the QS 2022 subject. And we have a remarkable team of the geospatial data science, and very happy to join them. So we have professors whose research ranging from agriculture, forest, urban, and public health. And furthermore, we have the state-of-the-art labs like GIS lab, cartography lab, hydrology, and soil lab, and which can lead us and equip us with good facilities for our research. And our vice president of HKU, Professor Peng Gong, has developed the intelligence Earth products, that means iEarth, which has generated the global seamless data cube for the satellite observation. And also we have our department head, Professor Shenlin Liang, has led to develop the glass product and the high-resolution glass product. And these products includes Earth observation variables, including the land surface temperature, leaf area index, evapotranspiration, and among others. They are all global coverage and also high spatial temporal resolution, and also freely available for others. And these products and technologies can also support the geospatial development in the SDG development, like SDG 2, Zero Hunger, SDG 6, Clean Water, SDG 11, Sustainable Cities. And as young scholars, we do hope to collaborate with each other and to apply the advanced geospatial data science to specific and targeted SDG applications. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. This is an interesting area to explore. Our next speaker from the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Ms. Zi Hui Tong and Ms. Shuting Wu, MA students from Institute of Space and Earth Information Science. They will be joining us online.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Shuting Wu, together with my colleague Hui Tang from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Today, we are going to share our experiences of applying remote sensing and GIS in the Greater Bay Area of China for SDGs. To achieve the Sustainable Development Goals Life and Sustainable Development Goals 11, urban infrastructural safety is a key indicator of a sustainable urban environment. Our research group has applied an integrated hybrid remote sensing analysis conducted by multiple sensors, including drones, airplanes, and satellites in the Greater Bay Area of China. This research has been providing early warning information of geological risks for sustainable development. With the striking of COVID-19 and the requirement of sustainability, there is a growing awareness of the importance of green space. In order to assess the sustainability of green space using GIS, we have integrated the indicators including greenness, environment, human health, and social economic, which can be inferred by remote sensing obtained from various sources. It is helpful to provide some suggestions for governments in green space planning, thus improving the efficiency of the investment for green space in developing countries for Global South. The United Nations and government have such a role to actively engage in dialogue and presentations to change the traditional perception among the public that SDGs are something lofty. Actually, SDGs are in our daily life. We believe that the application of foundational data provided by multiple stakeholders, including the United Nations, government, local community, and commercial domains, combined with the enhanced methodology, will lead to the development in our research in the vulnerable regions in the Asian Pacific area. In the future, the youth will definitely create a more livable environment and eliminate inequality for our generations with our efforts. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us online and sharing your thoughts. Our next speaker is Ms. Jennifer D. Maligaya, Senior Science Research Specialist. Did somebody say something? Did I hear it? Okay, let me go over it again. Our next speaker is Ms. Jennifer D. Maligaya, Senior Science Research Specialist from Earth Sciences Space Mission Studies Division, Philippine Space Agency.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Pleasant afternoon. I'm Jennifer de Maligaya from the Philippine Space Agency. The quality of air around us significantly affects the condition of life that we are in. In the most recent World Air Quality Report for 2022, it was revealed that Philippines' air quality remains to be 3 times higher than what is considered safe by the World Health Organization. Space science technology and applications now play a key role in augmenting the national and regional capacity to monitor and predict air pollution trends for disaster risk reduction, policy improvements, and environmental management. The Pan-Asia Partnership for Geospatial Air Pollution Information and the Pandora Asia Network Philippines project, or the PAPGAPI-PAN Philippines, is a multi-stakeholder international cooperation initiative that aims to monitor quality of air in participating countries in the Pan-Asia region. In the Philippines, the Philippine Space Agency is a lead executing agency for the PAPGAPI-PAN project. The PAPGAPI-PAN will utilize satellite-based data using GEMS and ground-based measurements using Pandora of columnar density of pollutants to study their diurnality, trends, and variability. This initiative will fill the data and information gap in the monitoring air quality in the country. A nationwide study will be made possible by capacitating stakeholders, especially the youth, in the active government agencies and relevant institutions in the use of GEMS and Pandora data. PhilSA is coordinating International Cooperation Agency, COICA, National Institute of Environmental Research, or NIR, and co-implementing this project with United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, UNESCAP. And locally, we have partnered with Manila Observatory and the Department of Environment and Natural Resources for the operations of the Pandora instruments. With the cooperation of various stakeholders, the PAPGAPI-PAN Philippines project is a significant step towards improving air quality plans and policies, eventually advancing sustainable development goals for climate action in the country and in the region.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts and joining us online. Our last but not the least speaker is from the Kasetsart University, Department of Geography, Ms. Punapa van Viverot.
Good afternoon. Greetings from United Nations University, the academic arm of the United Nations. I'm honored to join these.
We need to. This is going to come after.
United
Have
Nations
participant.
in advancing the role of women and gender parity in this space sector.
Sorry for that. Good afternoon. My name is Punapa van Viverot. I'm from Kasetsart University, Faculty of Social Science, the major of Geography. In our Geography department, we also have learned about geospatial data. As we know that geospatial data is an information that describes objects, events, or the other features with a location or on the surface of the earth. And nowadays, we also use a technology geospatial data such as satellite image or the aerial photo. Therefore, I would like to give an example of my project that I have learned that I have studied in this semester. We're using a technique from the photogrammetry that are compliant with SDG Goal 14, which is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, sea, and marine resources for sustainable development, with the topic of the oil spill survey in the Gulf of Thailand. In this survey, we will study by using satellite image to exploring the large area and using UAV survey a specific area and using it as a data. This is demonstrate that students in the major of geography are more aware of the SDG from our studies and activities that we're doing. Thank you.
Recording in progress. Director, United Nations University, which actually you guys saw a little time back. Director, United Nations University, Institute of Water, Environment and Health.
Greetings from United Nations University, the academic arm of the United Nations. I'm honored to join these esteemed proceedings to reflect on the significant role the United Nations plays in advancing the role of women and gender parity in the space sector. Similar to the water sector, approximately 1 out of every 5 space workers are women. The UN recognizes that this gender disparity is problematic and hence is working to identify and determine how to best address obstacles that women face when entering space industry careers. To close this gap, the United Nations is proactively promoting STEM education and women and girls through programs such as the United Nations Office Space Affairs or STEM related skills. So we future generations of women workers and leaders in order to ensure they possess the skill and education to remain competitive in the job market. Empowerment programs such as Space for Women and the United Nations Women for Initiatives significantly inch closer to advanced gender parity in some fields. But STEM education and access isn't the only barrier that women and girls face worldwide. Tackling structural barriers such as child marriage or female safety at home at schools are critical if we ultimately are to achieve gender parity in space programs. UNICEF estimates that only 49% of countries globally have achieved gender parity. So we urgently need to tackle discrimination, gender norms, and harmful practices that deny girls access to basic educations. We have to make sure students stay in school by working in tandem with the education sector to ensure structure, such as working toilets are installed and they limited actual paths, while the nation is working to undo these structural barriers. It will take the collective academics and civil society change we wish to see in the world. So I encourage everyone at APFSD to draw from the inspiration from what I've shared today to develop policies and programs that help women and girls around the world from thinking the sky's the limit and instead positively reframe so they can reach for the sky. Thank you and good luck to you all.
Thank you. Those truly inspiring for Mushfiq, Regional Liaison Officer for Asia and the Pacific from U.S. Satellite Center.
Thank you, participants, colleagues, and friends. Good morning, evening, and afternoon, because I think some colleagues are joining online. So first of all, we'd like to start by extending our thanks to Government of Indonesia for DRR emergency response, peace and security, and also sustainable development. We extend this support to UN agencies and also UN member states. And I'm very proud to report our human analysis engine is mostly youth. So in UNOSAT, most of the analysis work is carried out by the youth and young professionals. Very recently, in all our capacity building projects, we are ensuring youth and academia. So in all the projects, we are engaging the academia from and also in all of these capacity building activities. So this is giving us threefold of benefit. Universities and academia allow us to sustain. Also, this kind of events, when we engage youth, we opportunity to work. So thankful to University of Fiji and Vanuatu for their continued, and also Solomon Island National University. Before closing, I'd like to put forward few thoughts. I think when we are outside the book, because the real world is always more complicated, and never lose hope, because there will be few road bumps on the way, and never lose hope and keep pushing forward. My final remark, we should all embrace the frontier technology and also the limitless energy from the youth, and put it to good for the community. And thank you.
Never lose hope and always push forward. I think that is the exact energy we all need today to address the challenges that we face, particularly in me. Thank you, Mr. Mushfiq. Thank you, distinguished speaker. I would now like to open the floor for Q&A. Would anyone like to ask questions or make comments? Okay, do we have any questions? My friend Nazira might like to ask a question. I remember we were discussing something and she had thoughts.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. My name is Nazira Alimjanova. I'm a research assistant at the Asian Institute of Technology. My question is for University of Hong Kong. In your opinion, in which direction the research in the area of space application can be driven in general? For example, mapping.
Recording in progress.
Do we have any more questions? Okay, please go ahead.
Hi, yeah. I would like to ask, what is GISTA plan for engaging and incorporating youth into space application and capacity building? Thank you.
So I might like to request this question to Mr. Tatia Chuntragoon.
Actually,
that would be in my slide, but right, to answer this question. To be honest, anyone who is 5 years younger than me, I always call them youth to me. So the point is, what we plan for to engage more in space technology, and I usually would like to use the word space economy. For this, that right now we are not talking about space applications. We are not talking about space industry. We talk about space economy. And that's what we are talking about. When we talk about how to engage, mostly the easiest way to get the youth trained. That's the easiest way for us. The second, to get them engaged, involved in our research and also in our projects. That's the other one. The last one is to get them engaged to the professional. That's our goal. But to frankly, that what's the plan? That's a long story, to be honest. That's in our National Space Master Plan for next 15 years. And I would like to engage you to discuss in details with me and our colleagues here. Otherwise, I'll take all the time here, tell you what we have in our plans. At least, to be honest, in next 3 years.
Thank you, Dr. Tatia. I would now like to close comments and questions in the interest of time. Participants who are joining us in person, and of our speakers and our audience has brought together today. To formally conclude this event, I would request Mr. Robertus Heru Triharyanto, Head of Research Organization of Aeronautics and Space, National Research and Innovation Agency, BRIN, of Indonesia, to share his remarks.
Distinguished delegates and all participants, we have heard the presentation from the speakers as well as very inspiring student research team and projects, as well as the discussion that was happened on this session. I would like to reiterate our commitment to synergize our efforts toward the achievement of SDGs, especially for the implementation of phase 2 of the plan of action. And after this event, I wish that we can come up with numerous innovations and joint programs that are relevant for our regions. I would like to thank all the speakers and all the participants for the actively participating in this event. And I would like to further discuss about the potential collaboration with us. I would like to invite all of you to come to the networking session held on the ground floor of the UNCC, and that will be commenced at 2 o'clock. And I wish to see you there. Thank you very much and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heru Triharyanto. I will now invite Ms. Tiziana Bonapace, Director, ICT and Disaster Risk Reduction Division, SDGs, to please close this event.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen present in the room, as well as our participants that are online participating in satellite events. I think we've heard of successful examples. We've heard of practical suggestions. We've also listened to insights into how both the governments and the UN agencies are advancing the participation of youth. I think our moderators have clearly referred a number of times to the energy and the enthusiasm which which we have all captured in this room as everybody has contributed. And for me, I think in particular, I sensed a common commitment between the older and the younger people in this room. And I'm one of the old ones, so
Me too.
So for this whole table, we're all we have our senior moments.
Yeah. But we have young spirit in my heart.
Always, exactly. And so it's really that young spirit that the ambassador is referring to, His Excellency, that I think brings us together. And so I sense the commitment among the more experienced leaders of this group, of this room, a commitment to the youth and a commitment to empower the youth to deal with the challenges of the future. And the second thing that struck me among the youth was the expertise that the youth is emerging with. This is in-depth, state-of-the-art, advanced expertise that no one here has, at least among our table here. And so that was impressive. The expertise that was transmitted by the youth, and it's going to be very important in tackling the challenges of the future. So let me close by expressing my gratitude to the government of Indonesia and in particular to His Excellency, the Ambassador of Indonesia, for spending the hour with us. And I also thank Papanas and Brin for co-organizing this. And then, of course, our heartfelt appreciation to all the other co-organizers that have made this event possible. In our space applications program, we rely on the constant technical and financial support from a number of space agencies. And let me mention them one by one because each one of them is very precious to us. So one is the Arthur C. Clarke Institute for Modern Technologies of Sri Lanka, then GISTA from Thailand, PhilSA from the Philippines, the Agency of Space Research and Technology, Uzbek Space from Uzbekistan, and then from the UN, our UN University Institute for Water, Environment and Health, our UN Satellite Center, and then from the universities AIT, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Chulalongkorn University, and the University of Hong Kong. So thank you so much to everyone. And just before concluding, I'd also like to recognize in particular GISTA, the space agency from our host country, who's represented here today by our young at heart Deputy Executive Director, Dr. Tatia. And I'd like to in particular thank GISTA for being a provider of capacity building for many of the countries in the region. We've just embarked on a new project in the lower Mekong region, which will build the resilience of the agricultural sector to climate shocks. And I would really like to encourage the other space agencies that are emerging with very key technical expertise. There is tremendous opportunity to share the expertise that has emerged in each of the space agencies. There's a tremendous thirst for knowledge, and please feel free to make proposals to ESCAP, and we will do our best for this common endeavor for a common good of the future of the planet and its humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you, for joining us today and making this discussion meaningful for all of us. I would like to request your presence at the Internet Networking event shortly after this event. And Okay, here we are. Now we can see the satellite event. So we are joined by the BRIN headquarters, the team from BRIN, and here we are, the students from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Okay, so I was talking and they were waving. Okay, so let me go over that again. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today and making this so exciting for each one of us here. I would like to invite you to the networking event shortly after this event. Please also join us for the lunch, light lunch outside. Thank you.